Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And welcome to the Kickback Cafe, the show where we kick back, relax, and talk about anything but Disney. Yes, that's right. That's right. Dragon, do you spot cosplayers?
Yes.
Do you spot famous celebrities?
You betcha.
Do you spot panels and long lines and sweaty fanboys?
Yes.
Well, golly be golly, you must have been at Comic-Con then.
Yes, that was.
All right, folks. So Dragon attended Baltimore Comic-Con. Dragon, what were the dates that you attended?
Yes, I went make sure I got 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, as in Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Cool. So we're here to, Dragon, you're here to regale me about your tale of trial and tribulation and success and defeat. I'm trying to be as dramatic as possible.
Essentially, my odyssey at Baltimore.
Yes. So here's how we're going to lay it down. Basically, this is going to kind of be a guessing game because I essentially know the lineup of the big marquee guest stars. Some really big faces in there, some that I'm really excited to see if Dragon met or not, but here's the gimmick. I don't know which of them Dragon has actually met. He didn't have time to meet all of them, so that's going to be the guessing game. I don't know who he actually met. I don't know what day. I just know the lineup of guests.
And there might be some certain reasons why I didn't meet all of them as well, so, it's kind of
circumstantial. Yeah, of course. So Dragon, and of course there are like certain ones that I'm like really crossing my fingers that you met. So that's gonna be fun.
And plus, I got some yarns to share about a few of them.
Okay, so go ahead, Dragon. Just take the floor. This is your podcast, buddy.
Okay, let's start with Friday.
Yo.
Okay, so Friday. So I was kind of decked out. I try to kind of dress as a theme per day at Comic-Con. So day one, Friday, I'm decked out in this great Captain America shirt I got last year that actually has the pattern sewn into the shirt. I was really so thrilled to get that last year. Actually, it's kind of funny. I wore both shirts I bought at Comic-Con last year. This year, it worked out that way. So it's kind of like kind of snake eating.
I sort of do that with Disneyland. Like I usually buy a shirt when I go to Disneyland, and I'll wear that shirt the next trip.
It was like a complete accident, though. I knew going to what shirt I was going to wear. It didn't really dawn on me until after I laid them out. I was like, oh my god, yeah, same shirts I bought.
Right.
So I wanted to get my really awesome kind of sewn Captain America shirt, and I had the backpack that I had gotten for Christmas from one of my buddies.
Oh, is that the Shield backpack?
Yes, and I
see tons of people walking around with those at Disneyland. Yeah,
exactly. And I finally had one of those. My buddy got me for Christmas. One of the great kind of Christmas gifts I got, and I had a chance to finally wear it. Basically, it was kind of saving it for not really carry books because I have to carry a very little amount of books in the flat backpack. So more decorative than anything else.
Uh-huh.
So the point is, I'm wearing that. I'm wearing my blue shorts, kind of matching the color scheme, and I'm wearing, of course, my Civil War socks. and I got my cat backpack on, and oh boy,
is one side of the Civil War cap's Iron Man and one side Captain America.
Yes, and they kind of alternate. So yeah,
nice,
one side's Cap and behind's Iron Man, and they kind of basically each foot you get a clear view either or. So of course the right one is Captain America for very obvious.
God.
Anyway, so let me walk you through it, folks. Of course, Comic-Con, it's kind of an experience that wears you down over time. Again, very much it is an odyssey. Going to any Comic-Con is very much an odyssey. It's not exactly the monumental odyssey that San Diego Comic-Con would be, which I've still yet to attend. But still,
I would never want to attend that, to be honest with you.
But this is like the familiar battlefield for me. I've been to this Comic-Con many years. So
okay.
Every time you're trying to kind of outdo the previous year, trying to get it down to a science, try to make it as easy as possible, and try to kind of plan as much as you can. You know how much I like to plan.
Oh yeah.
So you gotta believe I had a battle plan a month in advance.
Okay.
And of course, as the weeks wore down, the more information I got, the more planned I could be. Anyway, So I got all my stuff, got my comics I want signed and everything. I've scoured over the guests, and of course there were last minute cancellations. A few old friends didn't get to make it this year, like Dave Bullock. I love meeting Dave Bullock. Unfortunately, he was not able to make it this year. I hope everything's okay in case he's listening, I guess. Anyway, so I go to Comic-Con. I got a buddy of mine. So basically for the 3 days I do have company with me. My buddy coming with me, just one for Friday. We go, of course, prepared for a lot of waiting, a lot of standing, a lot of waiting, a lot of, up and down. Basically, go to the top floor for the panels, go back to the main floor, and all that stuff. And
I think you've described that to me. It's basically like an endless trek back and forth, back and forth.
Yep, and of course, in circles, literally.
Mm-hmm.
Cube circles, I guess. So anyway, so basically I'm on the waiting floor, which is literally where the panels are. So I'm basically it's like they lead you down like a crazy maze when you're waiting to get in there. So I'm waiting, and this is kind of a good kind of meet and greet time. You get to meet other people, you get to chat up people in line. Of course, you get all the cosplayers walk in, and they're kind of waiting with you. Guys getting in there. And I actually had a really good conversation with, and I love this, really good start to the Comic-Con. Actually, I had an interaction with someone dressed as the Season 1 Daredevil.
Nice.
Season 1 Daredevil from the Netflix show, and he had a little detail, like a little pin with the red DD on it, so it was all these in the whole black costume, a little DD on there. Yeah, and also Spider-Man. They really kind of became buddies in line. The three of us got a chat, and then took some pictures. They had some pictures of them hanging out, high-fiving each other. It was awesome.
Nice.
I got into a debate with Daredevil about the quality of Batman v Superman.
Oh God!
It's the whole thing, the intellectual conversation. He was really excited to meet Frank Miller, which really charmed me. The fact that Daredevil was excited to meet Frank Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of gave him a start. Anyway, so let's see. So going to the comic, I think I have a lay of the land. Right off the bat, what got me to that line is they've changed things a lot this year, which was unexpected. So much as I prepared, I had changes right from the get-go. You can't just walk up and get your little band. You basically get your little your wristband that is your admittance. You basically walk up to a guy, hand him your little printout ticket, puts the wristband on you, and you go to the line. In this case, you had to go to a line to get to another line. They made it convoluted for some reason. It was bizarre. Anyway, so after that, I'm going in there. I'm finding out I have kind of a disillusioning moment. That again, has some good stuff happened, but then some crestfalling stuff happened. This Comic-Con turned out to be had a lot of unforeseen expensive surprises.
Oh boy! Okay.
Namely, the book limit. They instituted a book limit for a large majority of the guests this year, which they did not have before. I mean, there's a book limit in that it was a conservative thing, let's say 5 to 10 books. That was a book limit. Namely 10. Basically,
Can you explain what a book limit is for
limit,
like myself?
Here's the thing. Traditionally, the book limit last year and the years before, the way a book limit was, many famous careers, in the past with Scott Snyder, my writing idol Scott Snyder, or Greg Capullo, the Snyder Capullo team. When they're there, there's a line that goes all around the building essentially, and those people want to get every comic signed, like myself. And you'll notice you don't want to keep the line up, so they'll say, okay, limit 10, just get 10 books signed, guys. 10 books signed.
Gotcha. That's what I assumed, Ed.
Now that's how it used to go. This year they did something different. I mean, that was like for their uber super, that's for your major names in the business. Anyways, again, I always shared that story how I used to be able to walk up to Scott's there before the New 52 happened. It was like chat him up, get something signed. There was no line whatsoever. I got
my trip in retrospect.
I know, and I wished him luck on the new Bat book. Same thing. I lived like Greg Capullo. I happened by him. I didn't have anything Batman from the sign because he hadn't worked on Batman. I was like, oh yeah, hey, I heard you working on the Batman book. Good luck. Of course, the following year, Court of Owls comes out and skyrockets. Anyway, point is this year the book limit was like there's a lot of the big names in Batman, especially, and just any one of those guys like Amanda Conner or Jimmy Palmiotti, again, big names for Harley Quinn. Those two, essentially all the Bat books, their limit was like 2 or 3 books free. And anything past that was for a surcharge. And that was a disillusioning kind of price thing. That was the expense of this year. Basically, if you wanted to get 10 books signed, yeah, sure. But after the limit of 2 or 3, everything that follows would cost you up to $5 to $10, depending on how big the name was. Which is ridiculous. But you understand. It's somewhat. I get it, but my big complaint with that, Tiki, is that I wish they made that information available beforehand, because I'm carrying extra books I don't need now.
No, I hear you. That
What do
would
you
drive
need
me nuts too.
That's the thing. Like, there's always a certain amount of guesswork with
You couldn't get a locker or anything?
Well, no, they don't do a locker.
So. Ah, that sucks.
Either way, it would take me out of my way having to go to a locker.
Yeah, I hear you.
Regardless, the thing here is there's always a certain amount of guesswork with Comic-Con. That's the one thing I wish they never fixed this, because with the celebrities, I'll tease the celebrities a little bit here. With the celebrities, a big thing that would help with the expense of calculating which celebrities you can see or not see is the fact they never reveal if they have a selfie option. A selfie option is basically you take a picture with your camera or phone, mainly, again, phone for the whole name of it all, but mainly a camera. I'm an old school guy. I'm a camera guy. So basically, you take a picture of your own camera for a smaller price compared to the professional printed out photo op, which is like $50 to $60. So basically, you get like a $20 or $30 photo with your own camera versus.
I'm curious. Do you also get a JPEG of that picture?
Well, I mean, you have the option. That would be like for like not a lot, but just like a little extra. Get like digital copies and extra printouts and whatever.
Gotcha.
Anyway, so I'm just saying that's the information I still desperately would like to know, so I can again plan in advance. There's always that guesswork, and now we have all these book limits to take into consideration. Now, which is going to make the following years, and basically this first day is going to be definitely a learning curve with kind of disillusionment here and there. So let me start off really nice here. So two big comic guests. One of them was one of the marquee guests that you did not see, Tiki.
Okay.
So we had two big names in Batman.
I mean, you already mentioned Frank Miller, which I didn't know about.
Oh. Well, I mentioned Frank Miller. Oh.
You told me about Daredevil wanting to meet Frank Miller.
Huh.
I'm sorry.
Well, yes, there was Frank Miller, Tiki. So, yes. Oh, boy, screw the pooch on that one. Anyway.
At least it was
okay, well. All right, fine. Anyway, well, here's the thing. So there's Frank Miller, and there was also, here's one you didn't know about. He wasn't like the unmarked guest, but here's another one. Klaus Janson. Klaus Janson was the inker on The Dark Knight Returns, also like an additional artist. He worked on Dark Knight Returns, and there were three. Now there's 3 volumes of Dark Knight Returns. There's the original, there's the sequel, and there's the third one that was done recently. It's really nice to get the old team back together. So Frank Miller and Klaus Janson had worked on that. It was really nice that both of them were there. Now, Klaus Janson was nice as can be. I tell you, I walked up the Klaus Janson. I knew going in. I knew going in. I couldn't get Frank Miller to sign anything, or I couldn't meet Frank Miller, get him to sign anything for very simple reason. He was ridiculously expensive. I'm going to put it in perspective for you. The reason I had no issue of just like I considered it, but I honestly, the reason I was easy for me to say no to Frank Miller is because not because of the crazy era of Frank Miller, not that, but I actually
that instantly springs to mind.
I'm going to tell you a story that's going to rock you a little bit about that. We'll get there. It's not going to change your views on Frank Miller at all, but it might make it. We'll get there. The point is, Frank Miller, he was charging literally $100 for the autograph and $100 for the photo.
Fuck no!
That's $100 per book, right?
I mean, maybe if you were still writing stuff on the same level as Dark Knight Returns, but
and here's why it was a simple choice to say no to that take. A very simple choice. The very simple reason I should say is that Stanley never even charged that much. I mean, if Stanley doesn't charge
totally.
That to me that's my barometer of like that's kind of the pricing gauge for like the historic comic careers. As much as I would have loved, honestly, part of me was thinking to myself very, very naively. I was thinking, you know what? People in their right mind won't pay that much to see Frank Miller. So you know what? I'm hoping he's going to have like a moderate line. At the very least, I'll walk up to Frank Miller and say hi, and I'll thank him for making Jim Gordon the complex.
No, trust me, Dragon. If there's one thing I've learned from being a Disney fan, it's that there will be a long line, no matter how expensive it is.
I know. I mean, he actually had package deals too. Like, where basically you could for $500, you could you get 4 books signed. You get to have like a meet and greet with him. It's ridiculous.
How long is this meet and greet?
I have no idea because again, I would entertain the
notion. You get to like go out to lunch or something with him.
No. I mean, I did something like that with Stanley, not for that amount of money. Bear in mind, just it basically was like a little gathering like on the Friday night. So basically, what Linda Carter did, which I'll say that much. So Linda Carter was a name guest here. Initially, we were all very excited, like, oh my God, Linda Carter at the Baltimore Comic-Con, hooray! But unfortunately, she's only there not unfortunately for her, she's doing a concert there. Basically, on the Friday night, after the Comic-Con that night, she has a concert going on where she shows off her vocal talents, and I want to meet Linda Carter. I don't
right.
necessarily hear her in concert unless it's not like
Greg,
a panel.
I mentioned to you off air that Billy Bob Thornton played at my hometown, but he was playing in a bluegrass band, and it's like maybe if Billy Bob Thornton was doing like off the cusp stand-up comedy, I'd go to that. But I mean, look, I'm sure his bluegrass is great, but it's like I wouldn't want to. It's just kind of a weird disassociation with celebrities playing music.
It's really a missed opportunity because this was Wonder Woman's year, and that would have been.
That's the thing, yeah. It's like it kind of makes me scratch my head why she wouldn't want to just show up for a panel.
I will say this though, I did get to hear her because she was in the building at a certain point.
Okay.
Again, she was like, basically they have announcers. Usually it's the thing that says, "Hey, you've lost your child. Find your child at the information desk." Usually that sort of thing comes over the intercom. But they did some fun stuff with it this year. One of them was they had Linda Carter say, hello, check me out in concert. Essentially, so she greeted her. She greeted, "Hello, Baltimore Comic-Con." She's all friendly and nice.
Uh-huh.
And again, I was like, hey, at least I heard Linda Carter for a minute. And I know she was in the building, so that's something.
I breathe the same air as her.
Well, again, I don't know which room she was in, but
yeah, fair enough.
Anyway, so again, with Frank Miller, again, I optimistically was like, you know what? Only if like I could walk up to him, I'll say hi. And
Sure. You could just walk up to Frank Miller.
No, I'm assuming again, people were smart; they didn't pay through the nose. I was like walking and thank him for all the stuff he's done for Jim Gordon with Year One and Dark Knight Returns. So I was well. However, Klaus Janson. So Klaus Janson, I was starting to get my stuff signed by Klaus Janson, and it was nice as can be. I told him, oh man, I really the Dark Knight Returns. It's fantastic. Get the original book signed. I have like the fourth book, then the original line of Dark Knight Returns. The Batman Superman issue I had with me. He was signing it. Also had a Jim Gordon specific book that Denny O'Neil and he wrote called Gordon of Gotham, which is a really good story. And honestly, that's the Gotham era Gordon we're working with. That's Gordon before the mustache.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, so he's signing, and we're kind of striking a conversation. He informs me like after the first two books are signed, he's about to sign the Gordon of Gotham. I want to say he tells me the books are like it's $10 a book. But here's the thing, though. I had no idea. There was no sign out or anything. So again, I was kind of flabbergasted. I was like, "Oh God, I'm gonna have to stop here because I can't get." Like, I had at least half the books I was going to get signed by him in my hand, and my buddy having the other half just in case there was a book limit. Again, no idea what the limits were going into this. Mm-hmm. And he, and again, he's so nice. Because he knows I didn't know. He says, "Yeah, no, I'll sign him. Just don't tell my manager when he gets back." He was so nice. He signed him, and I gave my buddy like kind of like the nix it. Don't get the book signed. While he's signing him,
Uh-huh.
But yeah, you got a picture with him. Klaus Janson was just nice as can be. That's a class act there. Again, it's kind of him. Like that's what I would expect Frank Miller to do. That I could easily buy. I mean, like Riley, no, not Riley Brown, but Fabian Nicieza. He had a surcharge because capitalizing on the Deadpool fame. That at least made sense, and that wasn't a ridiculous amount of money he was asking for. That's what I expected for Frank Miller.
Hmm.
But, again, going into at least I knew Frank Miller was off the table, so no disillusionment too much there. Okay, let's see. So here are some of the great guys who did not have a charge for their autograph, and they were big names in themselves. So Steve McNiven. Steve McNiven, of course, is the artist on some of the really big Marvel books that, of course, we've seen adapted in the film, and very memorably so. Steve McNiven, he did the art on Civil War, Marvel Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the big story that gave us Captain America Civil War. And, of course, Old Man Logan.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really...
distinct art style then, yeah.
Absolutely. Again, this guy's got a very kind of photorealistic style.
Right.
Very, very realistic. I shouldn't say photorealistic. Very realistic style.
Mm-hmm.
And, that was really cool meeting him. He was a nice guy. And I told him I love his work. Keep up the great work. He says, oh, yeah, you keep buying them. I'll keep making them. It was really nice. Let's see. So outside McNiven, there was Lee Bermejo. Lee Bermejo was a big name, was kind of a historic name in Batman. He, of course, has done a lot of graphic novel work. He's done the Joker graphic novel, which is, of course, many people speculated, oh, did they get the Heath Ledger Joker from that? And I asked him, and he can confirm that no, it was purely a coincidence. He really doesn't see the similarity in it, but the whole the cut smile on the face. That's kind of what he kind of predated the Dark Knight with that. So you got Lee Bermejo. He also did this great kind of Batman version of A Christmas Carol, which maybe one of these days we'll do down the line. Again, no rush, but it's really good. It's basically Batman doing A Christmas Carol. And so he was cool. And then I had Jeff Parker. Now Jeff Parker was super nice. This guy, just oh my god, Jeff Parker is the reason we have the '60s Batman animated movies.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Jeff Parker, he did the comic series, which kind of reinvigorated '60s Batman. Like the mid the '60s Batman license was in the hand of DC. This guy, with the exception of Kevin Smith and Ralph Garman's Green Hornet story crossover with Batman, Jeff Parker's written everything '60s Batman, including the Wonder Woman crossover with Mark Andreyko recently, which is one of my favorites of all the kind of the stories they've done.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to him. We gushed over the issues and everything. I was like, "Oh my god, I love the '60s one. How you worked in Ra's al Ghul into that." I was like, "Oh, geez, that was." Andreyko's like, "No, dude, what was that like?" And it actually kind of blew my mind with the fact that an artist that I've met before at Comic-Con who was there as well, who I met like a different day, Dean Hashfield. He's actually his godmother was Shelley Winters, who of course was Ma Parker on '60s Batman.
Mm-hmm.
So, like a '60s Batman villain, which is why he did an issue on Ma Parker, because it was his godmother. So yeah, it was really informative meeting Jeff Parker, and he was nice. He was kind of my fill-in for Dave Bullock this year, to be honest. He was kind of he was kind of that. So he was kind of like, and he has some ties to the animated series in many ways, as well as the '60s animated stuff. So so we kind of talked about the '60s Batman versus Two-Face. It looks good.
Can't wait for that. Yeah.
Very excited for that. I met Pete Tomasi. It's been Pete Tomasi. He was gone for a year or so. He was unfortunately charging, but at least he was still super nice. I got 5 things signed. Got 5 things signed. I kind of chatted him up about what it was like working on the era of Batman where Jim Gordon was in the bat suit. Which he had a lot of fun with. Yeah, and it was a hard sell for him, but he grew to love it in the book.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see. Let me. We're getting to the good stuff here. So let me also plant some seeds here. So I was on a quest, Tiki. I was on a quest for the really big names here.
Okay.
So again, I knew these guys were gonna have lines because they always had lines. And with this book limit, I feared oh god, I'm gonna have to really make this count. I'm gonna have to see these guys all 3 days. Unfortunately, I did not get to see them all 3 days because they were kind of my white whales this Comic-Con. So there was Tom King, who I had met before, a literal spy in real life. I want to say it's affiliations with the CIA. He was an actual spy turned Batman writer. Tom King, who basically he took over Scott Snyder's run once Scott Snyder kind of left the Bat books, and he's been doing an excellent job taking over. He applies like a really kind of a fresh take on Batman.
Nice.
And he feels different from Snyder, but still like the intellectual kind of route of Snyder. Basically, it feels like Snyder was a guy who kind of taps into more of the Batman villains. This guy kind of taps into the Batman of it all. So let's see. Then there was also Dave Finch. Dave Finch, of course, a very prominent artist in the DC universe. So it was also basically the two of them.
A ton of credits to his name.
Oh, the two of them worked on a few stories together in that Batman line, which I've gotten a few things signed by the two of them. Again, when the lines were more manageable last year. And lastly, just the husband-wife team of Amanda Connor and Jimmy Palmiotti, just the sweetest couple you ever did see. And I actually went to their panel later in the day. I was surprisingly I was able to go to all the panels I was hoping to get to this year. So at least I had that going for me. I was able to go to all the panels. And so Friday I had 2 panels. Friday I had Frank Miller's panel, and I had Amanda.
Oh, cool!
Amanda
got to see Frank Miller.
I did, but I'll tell you this, and this is kind of that trippy hermit kind of Frank
Okay.
Miller moment here. So I'm expecting, okay, you know what? I can't get a picture with Frank Miller, but you know what? I'm going to do what everyone else does when we do these panels here. We're basically, you have your camera up, and at least you get a picture of them all sitting at the table, talking to each other. You basically get a shot of them like from a distance. You zoom in.
Right. Yeah.
I'm expecting that. Anyways, I'm getting there. I'm like getting my camera ready, and then like Frank Miller, almost like Tony Clifton from Man on the Moon. It's like his people kind of communicate. Hey, make sure everyone holsters their cameras. No one takes Frank Miller's picture.
What?
That's the thing. I kid you not. That's what happened.
Oh, Jesus, God!
No, I'm saying they didn't say that literally. They said holster the cameras. Basically they made the official request, very much like that.
No,
that
I mean
scene.
just the fact that they made the official request for no pictures. That's ridiculous.
Oh yeah. And Frank Miller. I was on the edge of my seat. How is Frank Miller going to be? I mean, I've always read about Frank Miller in interviews. I never really heard Frank Miller, and we had kind of a. He's a very quiet New Yorker in a way, and I kind of my mind blown about Frank Miller in an extent where nothing that changes my opinion of the guy, but I mean he's still creating, he's still working on the books because he came back for Dark Knight Returns 3. Bear in mind in a lesser capacity, he's more godfathering it than anything. However, he is going to do the majority of the legwork on this new story that has me really excited. It's Superman Year One.
Oh, ooh.
Which they reaffirmed here.
If he doesn't go with his usual Millerisms, it could be really good.
And
that sounds promising.
And he's teasing it like he's going to do like a reinvention like he did with Batman Year One, but for Superman, like, this is the stuff of like Superman you haven't really seen before. So I mean, I'm very hopeful.
Read that Max Landis Superman run.
I know you really do, Tiki. Seriously,
I know.
Yeah, but yeah. So the point is, Frank Miller, they kind of described I love that they didn't shy away from the All-Star stuff. Basically the infamous crazy Frank Miller story.
Oh God, I know the All-Star stuff all too well.
And that's what I'm saying.
I had a friend in high school who was into the All-Star stuff.
So they were talking a little bit about Frank Miller before he entered because he was running a little late. Not by much, but like 5 minutes, I guess. Anyway, they were kind of talking about that, and they were. Some wise guy in the audience said, "Is he ever gonna finish it?" Because which is it's kind of funny. Scott Snyder has actually picked up the slack on that technically because his new book on Batman, like his regular series now on Batman, is All-Star Batman, not All-Star Batman Rob, but All-Star Batman.
All-Star Batman.
Yeah, basically they found a way of doing All-Star Batman. It's actually really good. Anyway, so let's see. So Frank Miller basically, I love Frank Miller's perspective on what he's done. That's the thing. It was a new spoke to the Frank Miller way because we always kind of had that presumption. I kept an open mind. Like, we always have this expectation of crazy Frank Miller. Ever since he wore the hat, he's been a little crazy.
Sure.
And he's wearing the hat and he had a beard and everything, and he's getting up there. And again, the way he looks at it is, the All-Star era of Batman is essentially. Year one's the earnest kind of. It's a Batman starting out. It's the young Batman. He's unfocused. He's learning the ropes, and this Batman is he's in his physical prime, but he's also at his most kind of unstable. So it's basically it's kind of Batman. It's Batman as the unstable teenager in his life in a way.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I don't know. There's so many batshit crazy things in All-Star Batman and Robin. I don't think you can possibly defend it.
I'm not trying to change your mind, OT, but the fact of the matter is the fact that he owned that, though. That's kind of impressive. Sure. He didn't try to defend or kind of claim it higher. He accepts it. He's like, hey, people get it or they don't, and it's just this is kind of my take on Batman. Of course, you have the Wizened One in Dark Knight Returns. It's kind of like errors of Batman by his barometer.
Mm-hmm.
You're basically a Batman who. This is the one that really kind of. The last thing I'll say about that panel is that the main intriguing line that he had about the All-Star Batman was the fact that it was a Batman who was basically he was bolstering himself when he didn't need to. That's why he was so over the top. That was his explanation for what.
That's a nice statement.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right. I understand, but the fact that he was a guy who he tried too hard to be intimidating, and because he was just trying too hard. I don't know. There's that. Anyway, the counter Palmiotti panel, it's very much the same, like just a married couple in love, which you really admire is kind of that relationship. But at the same time, they're having fun. That they're really funny. Of course, they writing Harley Quinn, they kind of shared some funny stories about the making Harley Quinn, like some certain controversies and stuff, and like fun kind of not standards and practices meetings, but meetings with the editor about some funny, ridiculous, crazy stuff in the Harley Quinn book. Like the Scatapult, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, feel free to ask any questions, Tiki. Any follow-up?
I'm good. I'm done.
Okay, let's see. Let me quickly highlight a few really cool cosplays that we had. So we had 89 Batman, looks stunning.
Cool.
Got a number of Steven Universes. I love the Steven Universe. Not even just not the gems, just literally Steven Universe. He was a fun go-to. I saw a number of Steven Universes with shields and swords and cheeseburger backpacks. It was cool. I saw 2 Shigos, which made me very happy.
Oh my God, that must have been nice.
I know. I was like, oh God, some Kim Possible love going on there. Yes.
Maybe, perhaps because of Big Hero 6.
Hey, I'd like to think so. I was floored by this fantastic looking Domino I saw there. Someone dressed as classic comics Domino, not the Beats one, not the new one. I'm not disparaging her. I'm just saying, I really have to be sold on how this new Domino is going to be. I'm not instantly sold like I would be the comics Domino quite yet. But I'm hearing good things about her. I'm hearing really good things about her as Domino.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, well, he's a really good looking Domino. Let's see. I had someone doing kind of like a variation on the Captain America Falcon. It was like a different looking costume than it was in the comics, but it was like kind of like a custom job of like Falcon as Captain America. He had a cap shield and everything. It looked really sweet. And lastly, there was a great in character Jessica Jones.
Oh, nice.
The great in character Jessica Jones, who was taking her pictures. You don't work for Kilgrave, do you? It was like, oh God, it was nice. It was like she gave me attitude and everything. It was like, oh, she was perfect. She looked just like her.
Nice.
All right, so let's see. Let's start with basically I'm ending on like the 2 celebrities here.
Okay.
So I met 2 celebrities on Friday. So Number 1, let's talk about Finn Jones.
Okay, this is the one that I was really hoping you did meet. So, all right, let's get this out of. I am so curious about this interaction.
Okay, so Finn Jones, I knew going into it. So similar to Frank Miller, not as similar. He wasn't as expensive as Frank Miller, but I kind of knew going into it. Finn Jones. I mean, yeah, he was because of the MCU cachet he and Jessica Henwick had. They were both the second most expensive autograph to get, short of Frank Miller. Because I want to say he was 55. I'm not
surprised.
I want to say Finn Jones is 55. She was 50.
Okay.
In terms of kind of the pricing, I'm saying that's not even like for the full package. It's just like for an autograph versus like the photo op and stuff, which would basically be $100 to get the whole package with the 2 of them.
Jesus.
Anyway, and they also had like the photo. You also have the photo option of just you can get like a picture of both of them in the frame, which would be for like essentially $200 because you get the package would include both of the individual stuff. So something. Anyway, so Finn Jones, I'm in line.
Just really curious. When you were in line, did you hear anyone like harassing him or any stories of anything like that going on?
Well, I'm getting there.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Let me know. So again, like Frank Miller here, actually, I got my optimistic vision with Finn Jones over Frank Miller because I was going to go up and I was hoping that Finn Jones had a selfie option. I was going to basically I was planning on going up.
I know you, Dragon, so I'm sure you probably would have said something like, don't listen to the haters, keep up the good work. Am I right?
I'm getting there.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Anyway, so my point is, I had the optimistic vision of I'm going to go up there and I'm going to ask. They always have a helper lady next to them. Always kind of the nice lady lays out the photographs and kind of basically they don't want it to look so sleazy. So basically, they have the woman. They don't want to make it strange. So basically, they always have the helper take the money instead of the celebrity because it's in good taste.
Mm-hmm.
So I go up to her and I ask her because I see all these great Iron Fist photos in there, and I'm not taking those options. I just want to meet the guy. regardless. I just want to meet the guy again, like that Frank Miller kind of idealistic.
Sure.
And so, and I'm best case scenario, I can get a selfie as well. It's like, I asked her, hey, is he doing a selfie? And she says, very politely, she says, no, I asked just to make sure, so you're sure, no selfies, because Jessica Henwick was doing a selfie. I didn't take her up on that because I didn't have time for Jessica Henwick, unfortunately. I would have, but I didn't have time. And so she tells me no selfie. So I ask, well, can I meet the guy? She says, oh yeah, sure it is. So I scooch over one and I meet the man. I meet the man. I shake his hand. And says, hello, how are you? He's good. He has an accent.
Yeah.
Because let's face it. If it was Charlie Cox, I would have paid the nose to meet the man. But,
yeah, sure.
Charlie Cox, God knows, Mike Coulter would have sold a car to me. Mike Coulter.
Oh God, Mike Coulter. Well, I'd say Mike Coulter out of all of them would probably be our go-to.
Well, D'Onofrio would trump all.
Well, D'Onofrio is kind of like in a different.
D'Onofrio would absolutely trump all. Yes. That's the one I would contemplate paying $100 to me. Just D'Onofrio for all the enjoyment he's given me.
Oh God.
That one I'd contemplate. I'm not saying I'd go for it, but I'd contemplate it. It's like they like some sort of deal. I'd like, all right, I'll consider it. Anyway, so I meet Finn Jones and I shake his hand, and I basically, here's the thing I think you're gonna get a kick out of. So, my grandma, I should mention this, and I told Finn Jones exactly this. I told him, hello there, Finn. I don't know if I call him Finn or I just said hello there. You don't really need to share anything. I said, hello there, sir. How are you? And I say, I just wanted to tell you, I watched the Netflix stuff with my grandmother. We watch all the Netflix stuff, and she wanted me to deliver you a personal message. She wanted me to tell you she likes Iron Fist better than Luke Cage.
Oh God! Nice.
Which that's the thing. I'm inferring that he doesn't get that a lot.
Followed by that opinion, but nice.
I know. Okay, I know. It's like Daredevil and Iron Fist are kind of her favorites. So that's
okay.
Daredevil being the obvious, like the whole majority of everyone else. We all love Daredevil. That's an easy go-to. But it's a taste thing. I think she's very interested in the. I'm trying to think of some like Badlands and some other show. Marco Polo.
Badlands.
She's watched Badlands, but she really loves that Marco Polo show. She likes kind of the martial arts shows. So I think that's why she really liked Iron Fist. So it was, it's a taste thing and less discriminating taste here and there. So I don't know, I think. But, she likes, she's the Star Trek fan, so it kind of varies for
sure.
Sometimes she has good taste, sometimes, it's what she likes Anyway, the point is, we watch them all, and she likes all the Netflix shows. I'm just saying she likes Iron Fist, where a lot of people are mixed on Iron Fist, to say the least. So
sure.
Anything wrong with it. So, I asked her, like, hey, you want me, I'm going to see if I can meet Finn Jones. You want me to say anything? And I relayed the message very directly. I told him, we're both looking very much forward to the season 2. Keep up the great work. And he said, oh yeah, you're going to love it. So he was really nice, but I think since communicated, if everyone else, literally everyone else, again, Frank Miller notwithstanding, was doing a selfie except for Finn Jones. So I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. That sounds maybe a little, unflattering towards Finn Jones, I gotta say. But again, he seemed nice, and basically in line, everyone was looking forward to meeting him. Again, a lot people were complimentary to him. No one was really going to go up there and insult him to his face. I didn't go with Finn Jones' panels. That was kind of that was the more.
Yeah, the panel. I could imagine there'd be some hecklers in the crowd.
That's the thing. It's not that. I had kind of myself. I had to make a choice between. Well, we'll get there. Let's put a pin in it for Sunday. We'll put a pin in it for Sunday. Anyway, so last one. Here's the big one I got to hit. And this is my best moment at Comic-Con here. So Friday, the other celebrity I met.
Oh boy,
Stefan Kapusik, otherwise known as Colossus.
Oh yeah, okay.
This was the best experience I had at Comic-Con. As you can imagine, of course, being the huge fan of the Deadpool movie that I am, I was very much looking forward to seeing Colossus. And there were two guests at this Comic-Con. I had tried to go out of my way to do something really nice for. Again, something humble. I didn't get the moon or anything. I was just rope the moon or anything. But I did what I usually do, with the Scott Snyder's, the Greg Capullos, or the Haley Atwells that I've met before. I write a thank you note, or do a little bit of fan art, but usually write a thank you note, a genuine thank you note.
Mm-hmm.
Traditionally, I've handwritten it, but I had so many things to say in the letter with Colossus and this other guest we're going to get to. I had to type it out. I just had to, but I still personalized it. I had add a little like almost like a little letter kind of drawing at the top. So basically, I drew the Deadpool logo on a page, and I paper clipped it to the folded letter with red paper clips, like the Deadpool colors, red paper clips clipped it all together. And basically, I kind of in the letters to summarize, I said, I basically told him about how I waited 7 years for the Deadpool movie. I've loved it ever since. Ever since Hulk versus Wolverine, the disappointment with X-Men Origins Wolverine. I gave him the whole bona fide that we've been over many times before. And I highlight, oh my god, in Colossus, he's so faithfully done, and importantly, the thing I was kind of proud of, I end the letter on, is that. So all in all, bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you for doing your part to bring this character to life, because many people played Colossus, but he was the voice. He's absolutely the voice, and he is going to be in Deadpool 2. We know that much. Mm-hmm. And I wrote, can't wait to see in Deadpool 2. And just the thing I got him before, like the Deadpool 2 line was, without basically, if we didn't buy, if Colossus faltered at all, Colossus represents the X-Men, so if he faltered at all, that whole that whole kind of the yin yang between Deadpool and Colossus,
also the whole element of like this being connected to the Fox cinematic universe.
Yes, basically any connection to the X-Men, or just basically kind of the contrast to Deadpool would be lost. Deadpool, the straight man, the comedian thing. Well, if we didn't take Colossus seriously, basically, if Colossus wasn't fun, if we didn't take him seriously, if he was just boring like the other versions of Colossus, I'm paraphrasing. If he didn't, if he wasn't, if he was just kind of like, if he's like the other versions of Colossus, just kind of paint by numbers like the other Colossuses, it would not have the stay power that it does. It would not be the special movie that it is. Thank you, bottom of my heart, et cetera, et cetera. So, it's very, very profuse. Speaking from the heart for the most part. With these letters, I like to speak from the heart. I just got to put all there sincerely, sign my name, all that stuff. And I walked into him, and Stefan, I feel bad because he didn't really have a line any of the days I saw him there.
Aww.
I was able to walk up to him very easily. People saw him. Don't get me wrong, people saw him, but it wasn't like a huge line like everyone else.
Right.
One guest in particular, Shorter Frank Miller, had the biggest line. So I walked.
I guess that kind of makes sense since he only did the voice and it's a CG character, so you wouldn't really know his.
And he is the second voice actor they've ever had at the Baltimore Comic-Con. The first one was Phil Lamar a couple of years back.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Anyway, so I walk up this is the thing that makes it the best Comic-Con ever. So I walk up to Stefan Kapusek, and many people here's the thing. Stefan Kapusek is the nicest man ever. He is. He's so nice. Like, man, people, he rolls whoever people call him with his name. But I looked at it so I can get it right. It is Kapusek. I like to kind of get the names right if I can. So I meet him, and I basically, what I do is I summarize. I say, Mr. Kapusek, Stefan, I loved. I love what you did in the Deadpool movie, and basically I have so many nice things to say. I wrote this little letter for you just in case I don't have time to kind of get it all out there. So I'll be here all day if I read in the letter. So I got an autographed picture. So essentially an autograph. And here's the thing: it just shows you how out of all of these guys, he had the best thing out of all of them. He had deals for his stuff. So one, he had you get pops of Colossus that were discontinued. So basically, you get special bobblehead pop things with Colossus. Nice. You could have gotten the autographed pictures. We have a good variety of autographed pictures, which essentially I was down for regardless because it'd be like a cool printout image from the Deadpool movie that he would have signed. And also he had a selfie thing. He had a deal that essentially saves you money. You get you get a photo that is one, it's a photo, one it's autographed, and you get a selfie, and essentially knocks $10 off the combined price, which would be $70. You got it for $50. I'm sorry. Would have been 60, and I got it for 50. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing: he was just I gave him the letter, and he was very surprised, and he was he looked through it. He kind of, I guess he read as much as he could while I was standing there. I mean, he gave it a read. Honestly, I was kind of standing there. I think he read the whole thing, to be honest.
Aww.
And he was genuinely touched by it.
Oh,
Tiki,
man.
He really was, and he was. he was like, "Oh wow!" And he was just, it was like, "Oh man, it was a beautiful moment."
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, and we thanked me. I shook his hand, a good number of times. And he was, I got the picture with him, and he was so nice. He actually, I got a second picture, and I didn't have to, get rid of one of them. I actually I got 2 selfies with the guy, because even the letter, he held the letter open. I zoomed in on one to get as much of the letter as you could in there. And I had 2 pictures of me with this guy, and I didn't get like an extra charge or anything. It was just I get like the best deal with him, but at the same time though, he was genuinely touched. And Stefan's going to come back in our story, by the way. So just
okay.
This story is going to, you'll see why Stefan was the best part of this Comic-Con.
All right, put a pin in it.
but yes, overall day one, a little disillusioned with all the kind of the price gouging and the book limits. But I did glean some great success with, I met Finn Jones and it went well enough, and and Stefan Kapusek. It was wonderful.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so Saturday's going to go by, I guess, quicker. So
okay, cool.
Saturday was Batman Day. Traditionally, the way they do the Baltimore Comic-Con is usually they like to do Batman Day is a day in September. Usually, that's how DC kind of markets. They have like Batman merchandise coming out the week of, usually the weekend of Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, anywhere there's a Comic-Con, there will be a Batman Day. So now I'm wearing my GCPD shirt that I got last year at Comic-Con. I have my utility belt on. They usually like to wear at least one day on my Comic-Con. So basically, I'm decked out for Batman Day. More specifically, a shirt specific to Gotham, because we had some stars from Gotham attending this Comic-Con. I'll say that much right now. So so let's see. So I've restructured my plan. So I've restructured the plan. I've limited the number of books. I got more of a game plan, a little bit more kind of more narrowed down there. I'm waiting. I have 2 buddies of mine going with me today, so it's kind of a trio. So I'm imagining, okay, get multiple things signed. You're now got, it's a team of 3 now. But still, with the limited number, making the most out of the limited number in my mind. And we're waiting in line again, kind of that waiting area, as I mentioned before. We have we have smarter cosplays on day 2, because remember, Saturday is the costume contest. You have essentially all the really great costumes are on Saturday.
Cool.
So we had really clever ones, and we had really awesome looking ones. Like we had like John Goodman as Walter from The Big Lebowski was walking around. It was so trippy. He was like, oh my god, it looks just like him. We had a Killing Joke, Joker, and it was creepy too. It was a Joker in the Hawaiian shirt from the Killing Joke, and Batgirl in costume in the wheelchair.
Oh God! Ooh, geez.
And they were like friends or something. I want to say she was actually in a wheelchair, and that she could have been really. Oh,
okay. I mean, if she's actually in a wheelchair, then that's a really cool way to incorporate her handicap into a cosplay.
Yeah, I mean, either that or she's really committing to the bit, one of the two. I'm thinking she's actually in a wheelchair. Because, there were a lot of handicapped cosplayers, ones in wheelchairs, but at the same time, there are actually a few blind ones. Oddly enough, no one dressed as Matt Murdock, though. Then again, the ones who were dressed as Matt Murdock, I have no idea if they actually were blind. So I have no way of knowing that one. All I know is Daredevil was not blind. I'm just going to assume the actual Matt Murdocks that were. I had a couple Matt Murdocks. I'll mention some of the costumes there. We had Matt Murdock. We had a few Jessica Jones, which are really nice. I like to release 3 Jessica Jones at this Comic-Con. I like Jessica Jones, even though she doesn't really wear the most traditional costume. She's around. It's an easy cosplay, which is nice.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, let's see. I was really disappointed there was not nearly enough Harley Quinn, because this was Harley Quinn's year, man. I mean, there were more Harley Quinns last year because of the Suicide Squad.
I think you're the first person in history to say that you were disappointed that there weren't enough Harley Quinns at a Comic-Con.
But here's the thing, Tiki. There were so many Harley Quinns there last year because of Suicide Squad, but this year was Harley Quinn's year. It was the 25th anniversary, and there was only like 5. Through the whole thing.
Well, I'm just kind of like, from what I know about Comic-Con culture, Harley Quinn is a very oversaturated character, so I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing.
That's true. I mean, this year I was expecting see at least the Jester costume Harley Quinn. As far as the eye can see, now there's tons of Suicide Squad Harley Quinns. There's tons of all good in their own ways, but I did meet one. So I met this. I tell you, she was. I met a Harley Quinn. It was not like a revealing thing or anything. She was dressed very much like not the Injustice Harley Quinn necessarily, but she was really dressed like the Arkham City Harley Quinn. Like the red leathered one. I tell you, she was really nice. I chatted her up in a line. She looked really good. Took a few pictures. We hit it off. I thought. She was really nice, and I like that she and I were like the first ones in line, so we were really down. We kind of talked about the guests we were all waiting to see and everything. Let's see some of the other costumes again with all the kind of the best of the best this day. There was Psylocke, you remember Psylocke from Apocalypse, right?
Yeah, sure.
I had some great Captain Americas, with some metal shields, and oh boy, oh my god, he had Age of Ultron cap, he had Civil War cap, oh boy, they were all great. So excited. Let's see, there was a Tony Stark in the first day, which I posed with a few of them with the Captain America backpack, and I held the string, so basically it looked like I was holding the shield with a few of them in the picture on that first day. I had like a Tony Stark I was posing with, and it was kind of fun and trippy. Okay, let's see. So there was Piccolo and company. Piccolo and the Great Saiyan Man, like a few Dragon Ball Z cosplays
nice,
there.
Nice.
Amazing. The Piccolo looked amazing. He was all green and had the purple holding the neck and stuff. As far as I can see, had a really great armored Iron Man walking around. Like he had light up arc reactor and then the repulsors.
Oh wow.
Again, really top notch. A few Wonder Woman, because again, this was Wonder Woman's year as well. At least there was a healthy amount of Wonder Woman, which was nice to see, I will say. Unfortunately, Linda Carter couldn't be there, but hey, Wonder Woman. Had a trio of Robins from that Teen Titans episode, the good Teen Titans, not the crappy one.
Hey, we're getting a movie out of that crappy one.
What?
Did you hear about it? You didn't hear about that?
No, you're not serious, right?
No, yeah, I'm dead serious. There's a theatrical movie of Teen Titans Go next year. No, I'm serious, dude. I'm 100% serious.
Theatrical?
Theatrical, yep.
Oh.
I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news.
That really hurts.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't know it'd hurt you on such a personal level.
That really hurts.
Jeez. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't mean to bring down the mood. Continue.
Okay. Well, yeah, again, like the first comic movie we ever got was Batman: Mask of the Phantasm, and now,
God,
Teen Titans Go. Oh man, that one. I'm gonna have to shake that one off. That was.
I'm so sorry, dude.
I
did
really
not know that hit you on such a personal level.
I mean, the closest thing we've ever gotten to an animated superhero film, not counting The Incredibles or Big Hero 6, because that's more of a Disney kind of infused one. The closest thing we've gotten are like the technical releases of like the one night releases of Killing Joke.
The Gotham events, yeah.
Yeah, the Fathom. That's the closest we've gotten to these animated ones. Getting like,
and of course, that might turn around with Spider-Man.
I know, yeah, Spider-Man. That's the only upside, I guess, is that Spider-Man will be coming before Teen Titans Go. I hope.
Sure.
Oh. Anyway, oh god, that is a knife to my heart right there. Anyway, so we have a trio of Robins from that great episode from the original Teen Titans. Or basically the Teen Titans, well, Robin's gone, they all dress like Robin, and they basically break into his room and they wear his Robin costume and they look hilarious. Anyway, they're all posing together. It was really nice. Like 3 girls dressed as Robin. They're like, oh man, that's cute. That's clever. That's classic Teen Titans. That's nice. It's all friendly. There was Merida, and Merida from Brave, and she had like a little wisp like that would glow. So you flip a little switch and like a little glowing wisp in her hand. And the Heroes one, and while unfortunately there were no Rose Quartz this year, I got something that's tangentially connected to Rose Quartz. Someone was dressed as an amazing looking Megara.
Oh, okay, nice.
And Hercules, voiced by, of course.
Yeah. Took me a second to make the connection.
Yeah, I mean, again, it was you never see a Megara going around, Tiki.
No, right? Yeah, you're right.
You like walk right out of the movie.
That's like seeing Roger Rabbit at a Disney park these days.
That's what I'm saying. And I saw 2 amazing Deadpools. Tiki, these were like I wept for these Deadpools. They look so Reynolds like. I mean, seriously, because Tiki, here's the thing. Now it's the barometer for me for Deadpool, like the quality stuff with Deadpool for me right now. I'm looking for stuff that's styled specifically to the movie. Honestly, that was the merchandise. In terms of what Deadpool merchandise I'm looking for as well. There's barely anything out for the Deadpool movie because that movie was worked on such a low budget. They didn't have there was no marketing for that movie. There's only one product that really exists from that movie. That's the Hot Toys version of Deadpool. That's the only action figure of Deadpool you can get, aside from a few little kind of chibi things. So aside from that, there's like nothing to market Deadpool on, and anyway, I saw some great Deadpool cosplays, and one of them was someone unmasked as Deadpool, which looked astounding. Because they had they had a rubber. Basically, it's like one of those. You remember that Walter White mask that Bryan Cranston wore at Comic-Con? The ones that look exactly. Yes. Someone had one of those for Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool unmasked, and they wore that on top of their really, again, screen accurate costume. Deadpool, the Hello Kitty backpack and everything, but he was unmasked and he was all scarred up and everything. It was creepy that his mouth couldn't move because, again, it's a sculpted mask. You can't talk. The other one too. I mean, to complement that, it was like, again, I don't know where these guys found their costumes. I want to say it's a custom job because they had it was like sewn material. It was like it was the most screen. It was way better. My Deadpool Halloween costume was like the best you could get. You could buy. Without like. It was like the best like manufactured one you can get, like the most it was the best mass-produced Deadpool costume you could get. That's what I wore for Halloween last year. What these guys had was next level, Tiki. This was like, again, what we're seeing in those Deadpool videos that Deadpool said that the YouTube channel, like that at that Deadpool or Deadpool said that. The ones doing like the Gaston parody.
Oh yeah, sure.
Like those guys, like the screen accurate Deadpools, it was in that vein. It looked that amazing, and it was the details and just, again, it was movie accurate Deadpools. Blue Moon, those are my favorites, honestly. What I saw that day, personally.
Cool.
So in terms of panels, let me actually piggyback the panels here. Let me tell you about the big guest I saw today. Okay, I saw someone from Gotham. I saw David Mazouz. So I met David Mazouz. Now, nice. David Mazouz, I have a really special story about. So David Mazouz. So I wrote 2 letters, 2 thank you letters. I would run for Stefan.
I hope you mentioned the podcast.
I did.
Yay!
Which is why I specified that stuff I told you about earlier. And you can actually hear me referencing because I went to the Gotham panel and I gave a shout out.
Nice.
So it's in the letter and it's in the panel, which is anyone who's recorded that they can see that. It is on YouTube somewhere. So yeah. Anyway, so David, he was really excited. So unfortunately, they were running late, which did not thrill me because I was afraid I was going to be late for Stefan's panel because Stefan. I intended on going to his panel assuming I had time, and essentially I was kind of stymied with the scheduling for things a little bit. Basically, I had to cut things real close because basically I had a photo op with David Mazouz afterwards, which you have to be there at a very specific time. And basically, I would be cutting it really close coming from Stefan's panel to get a photograph with the printed out photograph with David Mazouz. So basically, I could have gotten a selfie if I wanted to, but I figured I'd get something really nice because I want to pull out all the stops with David Mazouz because, of course, Bruce Wayne, a Batman at Comic-Con.
Oh yeah,
it's a big deal. So
something we've been talking about for 3 years of our lives.
That's what I'm saying, man. So this was really, when I heard him when he was announced, I was just Stefan. I should mention this too with Stefan. I told him the last thing I said to him was he was I thanked him for being the best surprise at Comic-Con because he was like a last minute addition. He was like the last minute celebrity added, and I was like I was preparing for everyone else. Then Stefan's and I was like, oh my god, I gotta see Colossus. So I thanked him. Thank you for being the best surprise at Comic-Con, man. Anyway, so also in that scene, this is all relevant. Is that he told me again that we were kind of having a bond there. He told me, "Oh yes, I'll go to the panel tomorrow. We're going to be talking about all sorts of great stuff at the panel." So I made a promise to Stefan Kapusik, I will be at that panel. Sure. Even though I might have to duck out a few minutes early. I mean, it's like I'm gonna be there because I have no excuse not to be there after this man. He's expecting me there.
Of course.
So anyway, basically, I'm now David is running a little late, which puts me in danger of missing some of that panel as well. So the point is, I'm going up there to see David Mazouz. I'm chatting up Harley Quinn, having a really good time. A lot of Gotham fans in line, as you imagine. So we're kind of talking about, oh yeah, and I can't wait for season 4. It's great, Ski Mask, Vigilante Bruce. It's all great. And speaking of that, so I had a gift for David. So in addition to a thank you letter, I had a small gift. I wrote him a thank you note, and basically in the thank you note I explained this. Of course, I shout out the podcast at the very end, saying we do a podcast only so we want to be an Imagineer channel on YouTube, and I spelled it right and everything. So you want to be an Imagineer channel on YouTube called Exploring Gotham. I specified it's a recap podcast because Tiki, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, you can only find our podcast instantly on YouTube if you type in Exploring Gotham Recap Podcast.
Oh, really? No, I wasn't
Yes,
aware of that.
So that's something to consider. Anyway, so I had the information's in there. I mean, it was I'd hope he can figure it out, but there's enough information there. I could find it if he does. Well, at least I mentioned it. And it's there, and it's in writing. Anyway, so the point is, I gave that, a shout out. But importantly, what I specified in the letter right before that point, basically, that was that was the ending, saying, "And looking, keep up the great work, season 4. We look forward to breaking that down as well." And before that, I did explain the gift. So the gift was this: I knew I had been doing my reading and my research on David, and I learned that he was more of a comics fan of Batman, and it was as far as I could find, as much research as I possibly could. There's no intimation that he's watched Batman the animated series.
Oh, okay.
So, I specified in the letter, yes, I myself have been a Batman fan ever since I saw the animated series when I was young. I watch, half the reason I watch Gotham is for, you and Ben McKenzie as my two favorite characters, Batman and Jim Gordon. It's kind of very much written in the Scott Snyder. It basically, I give him the whole bona fide of how I feel about Gotham in the beginning there. I also, basically, the beginnings about how I feel about Gotham, how excited I was when it was announced, kind of the year one of it all. Second part of it, I was kind of specifying, I love how the scenes you have with Sean Pertwee and Selena, and what you did with Doppelbruce was great, and that's that scene you had with Catherine, where you kind of speak about thank you for giving me purpose and all that stuff. I specify what I loved about his performance in the middle there, and then the third part is what I explained the gift. The gift was I bought I found on eBay for a decent price. For a decent price, I found a copy of Batman Mask of the Phantasm.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I wrote down, and you may have, again, I have no idea, so I took a wild shot in the dark here. I wrote in the thing. Included, I explained that my three favorite moments from season 3, which of course were the Corvallis, the Jerome stuff, and lastly the very end with the ski mask vigilante Bruce. And I explained the significance that held for me because the first time I saw the greatest symbol for the proto Batman, the ski mask vigilante, it was Batman Mask of the Phantasm. And I said, I addressed how corny it was, but I said, it's sort of like, in case you've seen this or in case you haven't, just either you have it or. Like, I don't know if you have this, or even if you do, then consider this like a copy on the go. I've included in this, with this letter, a copy of, for my money, the best Batman movie, Batman Mask of the Phantasm, where I first saw the Ski Mask Vigilante Bruce, and essentially I explained it's sort of my humble way of kind of passing the torch to the next Batman.
Nice. I like that a lot.
Because that to me, Batman as a character has given me so much joy in this life, and this is the only time in my life I probably have the opportunity to kind of do something nice for Batman. Right. So it really meant a lot to me. I was saying, what? If there's a chance that this kid hasn't seen Mask of the Phantasm, not only just for the fact that Gotham now is kind of doing stuff is doing at least the scene from that movie. If there's a chance that this kid who's doing such a good job playing Bruce Wayne, hasn't seen the most recognizable iteration of Batman, I'm gonna give him essentially again the most purified blue meth version of Batman. Mm-hmm. And I can again, I'm not expecting to change his performance or anything or change how he's doing things. I had no intention of trying I'm taking ownership of David Mazouz upgrading his performance because he can't get any better for my money. But if I can just say I showed not just a Batman but a Bat fan, one of the great Batman movies that he's not experienced. If I can give him the experience that I had as a young person, watching Batman Mask of the Phantasm for the first time, I'd love to do that as kind of a thank you for all the joy he's given me and how he's honored that character. And I kind of wrote that in the letter. I gave him kind of I met him and I shook his hand, and he's a dog lover apparently, because I'm convinced it was his mother. His mother came to Comic-Con with him. This older woman who carried the dog. It was dressed like a shark, by the way. I guess like kind of a bat shark repellent joke in there somewhere. Anyway, I met him. I gave him very much like with Stefan. I gave him the clip note version of like, oh yeah, and it's, I could stay here all day. I could tell you all the great stuff you're doing, but it's just my humble gesture of kind of ushering in the next generation of Bat fan. If I can, basically, like kind of from one Bat fan to a Batman sort of thing.
Sure.
And he was grateful. He was grateful. He told me he did not see the movie.
Nice.
Nice. Not seen the movie. I don't know if he's being polite, but he did. He did take it. He didn't just kind of like toss it off or just like leave it on the table. He did. He did take it along with the letter, which we had blue paper clips with like the bat symbol on the front, the animated series bat symbol.
Of course, naturally.
And so I mean, it's there. It's all in its own writing, and there's the DVD with them. And I went to the panel. So I went to Stefan Kapsik's panel. Following that, I made a beeline for Stefan Kapisik's panel after that. Yeah. I didn't miss, they were just getting started, so I didn't really miss anything. So I was there. I was joined by my friends, my two buddies here. And again, they've been to Comic-Con. One of them has not been to Comic-Con. The other one has with me before. So one of them at least has an idea what he's going for. The other one's just kind of going with the flow. Mm-hmm. So they're there, just as they were kind of figuring out the next plan, who we're going to meet and stuff. I given them a few things to get signed. Anyway, so we're kind of figuring that stuff out. They open the panel up for questions, and of course, I'm lined up at the mic with the other guys. Not with my guys. My guys are in the audience. That's an important detail. My guys are in the audience. Right. So people are asking questions. There's actually a guy dressed like Colossus who asked the question, which is kind of cool. And again, Stefan, he's being super nice. He's he's really entertaining too. He's doing the Colossus voice left and right, which is really fun. And breakfast is most important meal of the day. That's that sort of thing. He loves that movie as much as we love that movie. And I get up there, and essentially, here's the thing: I get up there, and he greets me. He remembered me. He says,
nice.
"Bro,
that must have been an awesome feeling."
He said, "Oh, it's my brother from another mother." He was so polite. He was so kind to me, and he remembered me. And again, it's like he remembered that telling me to get to the panel almost.
Right.
And I was there. What I did is I was kind of returned with a classy sentiment, which I felt I do feel very, very truly bad. I said I started off by saying, "Well, hello there. I'd like to think I represent everyone in this room. I speak for everyone in this room when I say we're very grateful for you bringing Colossus to life in a way we've never seen before in that fantastic movie, Deadpool." Everyone's cheering yeah, we're all showing their support. Then I asked, I wonder what it would sound like. I wonder how Colossus would sell someone the Deadpool movie. Basically asking him to summarize the Colossus, the character, to summarize the Deadpool movie. It's like Colossus saying, "Oh yes, it's good movie, good action." Basically wasn't crazy about the sex scenes or the language, especially not the language. So yeah, it was just really, really nice, and it was been super nice.
Cool.
And of course, lastly, it was just nothing really. There's Batman Day, which of course is basically kind of all the Batman writers gathering around, kind of a fun atmosphere. Them kind of talking about what got them in the Batman. I'm bringing up. Well, no, actually, I saved that for the other day. So, point is, it was a fun panel. Kind of talking about. I think it's skewed away from kind of talking about kind of the future of Batman. Just kind of talk about what we love about the character, which kind of part of the course. It's kind of an annual thing, which we kind of say it's like a good version of church.
Right.
Church. I met Dustin Nguyen. Now, Dustin Nguyen, it's between him and Jeff Parker, who was the fill-in for Dave Bullock, because he had no limit whatsoever, and I had the most stuff for, and he did the comic I loved. He did Little Gotham.
Oh, okay. I actually looked into this, Dragon. I freaking love the art style in this thing.
Right? So this is the artist. This is the guy who did the art. He does the watercolor style in the art.
Oh, God. I mean, the art isn't just watercolor. It's like kids' drawings, except really, really good looking.
And he's done serious Batman too. He's done Now, he's done serious Batman. I did get a great tidbit from. So not only does he do serious, he's done serious Batman comics, like some Paul Dini stories actually as well, which is kind of a good pairing there. But Dustin Nguyen here, what he's done is that little, essentially for the folks out there who do not know, there's this great comic series. It was very much styled. The first series was styled after holidays. So essentially every issue was like, like Batman during Halloween, Batman during winter, Batman during Thanksgiving, like during all these holidays. My favorite issue, Tiki, did you get to read issue 6?
Yes, I did.
Issue 6 was Father's Day. Which is my favorite, because essentially that story is Barbara's taking her father, Jim Gordon, to dinner at a fancy restaurant for Father's Day. Really nice. But they have to share a table with another couple, another father-daughter couple. It's Ra's al Ghul and Talia.
Oh, God. Right.
An interaction we never see, Ra's and Jim Gordon, and it's hysterical. And it's my favorite issue. And I told them all about it. Oh, my God, I love this issue for the reasons I just said. And, I tell them about Little Gotham, essentially Little Gotham's like a great blend of Batman meets the Peanuts, essentially, and it's great.
No, I mean, like I said, honestly, that the art style in that is like, it really struck me. It's like I'd love to see honestly, Drag, I'm kind of hung up on video games like right now. I'd love to see a video game done in that kind of like kids like childhood drawing style.
Well, at times I'm just amused again with the Peanuts comparisons. Like if you have such like a Sunday comics vibe to me. It's like it feels so humble and innocent, and it's like a great that to me, that series is like a great celebration of Batman. It's Batman kind of looping his way back to kind of this is like the window of which everyone. It's like it's not brutal. It's not brutal. It's not gruesome. It's not like really scary Batman. It's just it's a celebration of Batman. It's so nice. And Dustin Nguyen, he actually teased because I was just voicing how much love I had for that series. He said, "Hey, it's coming back. We're doing another run of it soon." Which is I was delighted by that alone. And again, he signed all the books. Not an issue in the world. Just he was everything you would want him to be, and he was selling art too. He was selling some great prints as well.
Awesome.
Okay, let's see. It's last, just a very, very last bit that hit. As usual during Comic-Con, I like to go to various artists at Comic-Con. I have them do commissions for sketches of one of my favorite Deadpool characters, Sandy Brandenburg, Deadpool secretary from the Gail Simone run of Deadpool. It's kind of my thing where I just kind of I have like artists kind of give their take. I instruct them, okay, here's what Sandy Brandenburg looks like. She's a secretary, and just working Deadpool somehow into the image. I don't make it your own. Just working Deadpool into the image somehow, like the symbol, whatever. Just working in there, be creative. And I had 3 done. The first 2 I had done on this day. I had Craig Russo, who did the Spider-Man Loves Mary Jane comic. He's a really good artist. He did that. Well, I'm sorry. I'm pretty it's the same guy. I'm sorry, I was doubting myself. No, that is the same guy. A really good artist. Then another one is kind of I just happened upon, and here's what kind of drew me to him. Again, with the stuff I was laying out on Friday. I'm sorry, we're still saying with the Deadpool costumes. I'm desperate for this Comic-Con. I was keeping a razor focus on anything related to the Deadpool movie, and the only print I saw at this entire Comic-Con that was related to the Deadpool movie was at this one booth by Lyle Pollard. He had a print that had Vanessa on it. It was Vanessa and Blind Owl, and had some like fun unicorn stuff and everything on it. It was from the Deadpool movie, and I was that's what drew me to this guy's booth. I noticed
a sign. I just said it's a sign.
Yeah, I know. It's like a sign. So I came to him and I was like, one, I was so wowed by it, and I gave him the spiel, and I asked him to do a sketch, and he did. Yeah, I got him for good prices, by the way. I was wary of that this Comic-Con. I was kind of on a budget this Comic-Con, so I had to be really smart with who I got sketches by, because I could have fallen down a rabbit hole like I did the year. It was a really expensive year last year. So Lyle Pollard, he did amazing work. I don't know if he did watercolor, but he colored it somehow, and he made it look really nice. Like she was holding a plush toy. It was like of Deadpool. That was kind of neat.
Nice.
So again, Saturday was a success, with the exception of every time I tried to get in Tom King, Dave Fincher, or Connor and Palmiotti's line, they booked up. As in, I couldn't. They had these signing times, and every time I tried to get there, when the lines opened, they booked up in like a second.
Oh, man.
So again, Day 2, I have still not met these guys, which means I'm only going to be able to get like 1 day's worth of signatures with these, like, with 2 to 3 books max with whoever else I take with me.
Mm-hmm.
So White Whale eluded me. Aside from that, Saturday was a resounding success. Okay, Sunday.
All right.
Let's
try and get through this.
Okay.
Because we've already been going like an hour and a half. So.
Gotcha. Okay, Sunday. I'm wearing the Batman the Animated Series shirt because, again, this year is the 25th anniversary of Batman the Animated Series. You know, figured I'd kind of wear something to kind of commemorate that while it was there.
Mm-hmm.
And with the same, the Batman with the red sun behind him, the classic, image. The ending of every animated series episode.
Right.
That image. And the utility belt again, because why not? Oh, yes. And I should mention in the photographs with a lot of these celebrities, especially and the cosplayers, but especially David Mazouz. When I got my picture with him, the professionally done picture, I brought with me my Gotham badge in the utility belt, as I usually like to do.
Mm-hmm.
The one that is from the show, Jim Gordon's badge from Gotham, and I handed it to him, and he held it up in the photo.
Nice. Cool.
It's really nice. So let's see. So unfortunately, Sunday did not have the best of starts.
Oh boy. Okay.
There was somehow I don't know what happened and the same thing happened last year at Comic-Con, but it was on Saturday and towards the end. Only this year it was in the very beginning of Sunday. It was like I'm all prepared, like, okay, Sunday is going to be a great day, and then the fire alarm goes off.
Oh God. Oh man.
And we all have to evacuate, and it's not the same like same place I went last time. We had to go at the front entrance, which is very inconvenient because you have like a pathway of cars and stuff traveling, and basically we're blocking traffic, and we have to
Jesus! Oh God!
Way and everything. Like it's a fire alarm going off. It's chaos. They're trying to, and it's right before. It's like the last like half hour before the thing opens. By the way, so it's like everyone's raring to be let in.
Sure.
The only ones in the convention center are like the VIPs, and they piss me off. Just the VIPs are in there.
Oh God!
Anyways, like everyone evacuates, and now like the whole it's a filled area now. Because I was thinking I was really. Things were going really well in the beginning because it looked really sparing turn. Like, hey, you know what? Maybe I might have a shot with these lines today. It doesn't look like as big a crowd as the other 2 days. Things are looking up.
Right.
And then again, this fire alarm chaos, which reveals, okay, it's a packed house, so that's not a good omen. And then like this fire truck pulls up and thinking, oh God, it's an actual thing. That it's never a good sign when the firefighter, because usually it's like, okay, like there's some wiring that's gone wrong here. It's like someone pulled the fire alarms and they have to show up. But the firefighter donned his firefighter attire, which is never a good sign.
That is never a good sign.
I still have no idea what happened. I'm just assuming because I was let back in, nothing actually caught fire. That's my guess. Okay. Regardless, we're all out there. Not even the Defenders, who, by serendipity's sake, they were out there. Luke Cage met Jessica Jones, who I got individual pictures with. But they were met each other. I had I brought my mother and my father came with me because they like to come to Comic-Con as well, just on the. My father especially. He kind of took me at the first Comic-Con I went to.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's kind of an annual thing. They usually like to come with me on Sundays. It's kind of like a family tradition, I guess. So, he's with them and I'm telling, hey, get a picture of the Defenders over there. Jessica Jones. Well, we're all out there, take advantage of it. So, basically, it's not a huge delay, but approximately 20 to 30 minutes behind, and of course they're not going to extend the last day of Comic-Con, which, by the way, the last day ends early than the other 2 days, so time is of the essence this day, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. So then we're let in just to kind of highlight just some of the cool stuff I did on Sunday. I got a print. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a lot of stuff signed by Jerry Ordway because he had a price for a signature, $2 a book. And I did what I did to kind of meet in the middle there because he had an amazing print that I had to have, especially this year of all years. Tiki. He had the Adam West print. Jerry Ordway did a rendering of the 60s Batman crew lighting the bat signal, and in the sky instead of the bat symbol you had Adam West, and underneath of it said, from this year to 2017, farewell, old chum.
I saw that. That's
a beautiful print that I had to get. It's like, I owe that to Adam West. Man, we got to get that print. So I got that print. I was like something I got. It was signed by Jerry Ordway, so at least I got something signed by him.
Cool.
Let's see. So, because he had a huge line, just to even consider getting something signed. Like the Saturday just did not turn out well. I didn't get to meet Jerry Ordway because he was gone because of all the fire alarm nonsense, I guess. But I was able to buy a print from his daughter. So. that was pre-signed, so that was good. My father, who's the big Iron Man fan, got a photo with the with kind of this maquette they have of Iron Man. They have like kind of a cool, like kind of awesome kind of standee of Iron Man. You can get a picture of it. It's modeled after the Marvel movie Iron Man. So all the MCU takes on the Iron Man suits, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
My father, who I had gotten this year interested in Legos hugely after the Lego Batman movie, he went overboard with he and I both went overboard with all the Legos we bought.
Oh God!
Because I mentioned this before, they have like this table of Legos where basically all these kind of, a lot of them are customized Legos. So not some of them I did get some official Legos, but the majority of these are like kind of customized, like just to have them for decoration, you know.
Sure, of course.
So like I got a whole set, and they have like a whole grand table, and have like like 6 for 20 deals, and like like 9 for 30.
These are all minifigures, right?
Yeah, they're all minifigures.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm more of the mini. I'm a minifigure. My father likes building them. I like the minifigures. That's kind of where we break down on things. So he's a project kind of guy. He likes building things, keeping himself occupied. So I'm collecting like set. I have like a whole set of the Guardians of the Galaxy from Volume 2. With like a whole slew of baby Groots attached to each of them. I got Supergirl from the CW. Supergirl. I got Doctor Strange, who looked really neat. And the one I was proudest of, they had a Stan Lee.
Oh, that's awesome!
Because the minute I saw it, I was okay. That's the first one I'm getting, the Stan Lee minifig.
Right.
The official Lego I got really hard to find Legos, and from the official Lego side of it here, where I got I had a Buzz Lightyear minifig. And which is officially released. They had a few Disney ones. I had a Buzz Lightyear, and I got Woody, which was really hard to find. I didn't even know Woody was released, and I got Woody for a price. And I also found Bullseye too, so I got a set of Woody and Bullseye, and and his faithful master Woody.
Cool.
They kind of go with my little China closet Toy Story stuff. So let's see. So I went to the DC panel. I was in a position where I had to choose between the DC panel, which I go to every year, or the Finn Jones Iron Fist panel. It was basically him and Jessica.
That sounds like an easy decision. No
That's
offense.
the thing, and that was my polite insult to Iron Fist. That was
right.
It's like, look, I'll stick up for Iron Fist within reason. I will. I mean, again, I'll say that it's the Arrow of the Netflix shows, which is not. It's aesthetically it's cool, but it's by no means thought provoking. It's like, hey, it's cool to see stuff realized on the screen. It's like, hey, it's just more Netflix stuff. Just could have definitely been better. So that was my very polite screw you to Iron Fist. Like, you know what? I'm going with tradition over Iron Fist. And plus, I don't know how that panel's going to get ugly. I don't know. Just best of luck.
I'd be very curious. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, you do. Yeah. Okay, I met Charles Soule, and I met my. This is one. It's like kind of a reversal of the Scott Snyder thing almost. I met James Tynan again, who I've met every year, and he's Scott Snyder's writing student who worked on the backups of the Batman stories with him. He wrote all those stories from Death of the Family, Tiki, the ones where Joker's giving the pep talk to the villains. Mm-hmm. That's all James Tynan, and the Alfred's father story from Court of Owls. That's him. And he unfortunately had a book limit this year, which really made no sense because James Tynan never has a line. He still didn't have a line, so why would he have a book limit? So that, to me, that felt like I feel James Tynan was forced into that, but I don't know because again, I've walked up to him. I don't want to. Again, he's a really good writer, but I mean, let's face it. I'm kind of his biggest. Again, I'm not paying him, but I'm kind of his biggest clientele, I guess, because I bring him the most books, and I again, not really a line. So that was a little baffling. So yeah, I would have liked to get more signed by James Tynan, but at least again with my folks in tow, we kind of individualized it. So I kind of got like 9 books signed. It was nice. I finally by this much I met Tom King and Dave Finch and Connor and Paul Miotti.
Finally.
By this much, and it was amazing to see how this works out. So Dave Finch, I got in line because he was close by and the line was still formed before. See, Tiki, when a line gets capped, that means it's a no-go. It means you have to wait till another sign time, or basically it's just they're done. So Dave Finch, I was able to get in there as well. The line was still, it was like half of the line, which is fair. And I didn't have a lot for Dave Finch, so I got all the Dave Finch I needed signed. So I didn't have any problems with Dave Finch because I strategically, because I can only get one day out of these guys. They work together on the book. Dave Finch didn't do the art on all the Tom King books, but he did an arc. He did the Bane arc with Tom King. So I brought the Bane arc, so I could at least get that signed by the both of them. Signed by Dave Finch and Tom King. So I got signed by Dave Finch. My mother always is every Sunday. My mother has seen Dave Finch. Just kind of they have a little recognition there, which is kind of funny. Tom King, on the other hand, was crazy. Because I'm saying he was nice. He's always nice. I'm saying getting to Tom King was crazy.
Okay.
Right next to Dave Finch, right?
I know. I was about to say, like, whoa. Like, what was he? Was he off the wall? Go ahead.
That's the thing. Here's the thing. Tom King, he's right next to Dave Finch, right? And again, these days he's been telling me I can walk by their tables and they'd always be gone because they schedule it really stupidly how these guys would be work this year. I don't even want to get into it. The point is, it's almost been taunting me. Tom King's been the white whale this year. And basically had like this little handler guy. Not a handler guy, but a guy like making sure no one is lining up before the line officially starts for some reason. And basically, again, like you get a sense people are kind of waiting on the side. Okay, well, yeah, respecting the wishes. I'm basically you're going to enforce this, right? Yeah, I'm not going to let anyone line up. I'm believing this guy. Like, okay, you got it. Just the minute when the clock strikes 2:45, I'm going to rush to get in this line. So ideally, so I get Tom King. So that's the plan. So I'm hanging around the area, but I'm not getting in line, respecting that guy's wishes. And basically, so the clock strikes to 2:45, and then basically this guy, I find that a line has formed on the side, and all those people are lined up for Tom King. Essentially, this guy was giving us the runaround. He tricked us. Again, like the three. Basically, it was myself, my folks. Again, they were just kind of with basically me. So it's kind of a trio for serving the needs of one, I guess. So. And like two other guys, like we were all like kind of abiding by the rules that this guy laid out here.
Oh,
and we
man!
You're gonna like this. You're gonna love this. You're gonna love this.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a jerk. He was probably following orders, but he didn't really care about other people in the process. Anyway, So my mother starts to. My mother is very loudly ranting about this. She's basically calling him an a-hole. Like, oh God, what an a-hole! Just like that guy, basically, she's very upset over this. And I assume like his superior, he or his superior, heard this, and basically a much friendlier guy walks over, and he says, what you guys, what happened with you guys was not right. Basically, most likely heard the complaint, and then basically just like he made sure there were no unhappy customers. So he says, you guys, you're coming to the front of the line because you guys wait. Nice. You were the only people that actually followed what this guy was saying. So you guys come to the front of the line. So we went to the front of the line. So we were first to see Tom King, who unfortunately was running a little late, but. When he showed up, he was eating like his little power energy bar. Tom King likes to keep in shape, I guess. I don't know. Tom King was eating this little power bar, and I get to chat him up while I was doing that. While I was getting ready to get stuff signed, I had all the books out ready. So it was not going to take long by any stretch. We kind of chatted about I remember I kind of was in position. I wished him luck when I met him, like saying, "Hey, look, good luck on the good luck taking over for Scott Snyder." I basically read the first arc they did so far, so good. It's in good hands, and I basically reaffirmed that here. Oh, I'm loving what you've been doing. He's been doing the war of jokes and riddles, basically the Riddler and Joker going to war with each other. He's been doing a really good job, and I basically echoed what I said before, saying, I remember I told you this last year, and I still think it's true. The Bat book could not be in better hands than Scott Snyder. You've been doing an excellent job with it. He was really appreciative, really nice. Took a picture with him, and he even chatted up my folks. He was making this good conversation with my folks as well. So that was
nice.
That was nice. So Tom King did not disappoint. It was crazy getting to meet him, but he was. As always, he was nice, very, very professional. And Amanda Connor, Jane Paul, man, my mother loves meeting Amanda Connor, because she loves she's not a huge comics fan, but she likes aesthetically, she likes Harley Quinn, like the collective, like the average viewer likes Harley Quinn. The fact that Amanda Connor does all the Harley Quinn covers and she writes the book, so. I got in to see them before the line was capped, like just before the line was capped. So I got there just in the nick of time as well. It took some time, but the line moved fast after a while. I got things signed and got a picture with them, so they were nice. Let me hit Sean Pertwee.
Oh, okay. I was kind of thinking you didn't meet him because you didn't mention him in the yesterday.
I know. So Sean Pertwee, I did get to meet. I did not. I did not get an autograph from him because I was trying to save some costs here. But I did get a selfie with him. So him, I did take the selfie with.
Okay.
I got a selfie with him, but before I just wanted to meet the guy. I got to meet the guy, and I talked to him during the. He responded to me more so in the panel, like David, like David. He didn't really. Basically, I asked the question, like, can you tease anything in season 4? And again, you can see that in the YouTube video. I guess, like, can you tease anything in season 4? And they kind of listed off some characters. And David, I guess, like, following in another question, kind of answered my question then, where he has teased Hush. We're supposedly getting Hush again, and we're going to pay off Thomas Elliott this season, which is really intriguing.
Meanwhile, Harvey Dent is just like in a corner crying.
So David has teased Hush, but again, in the past, he has teased Harley Quinn. So we'll see.
Sure.
He's learned his lesson. He definitely got yelled at for the Harley Quinn thing, so he's been wizened. So it's unclear how much he's really teasing Hush on that one. So let's see. So I meet Sean Pertwee. He and I chatted for a while. He was a really good conversationalist. That Sean Pertwee. I told him, basically echoed kind of you and I, but our sentiments on Gotham. Basically, in season 3, we're like, oh yeah, we love the emotional. I love the emotional scenes between Bruce and Alfred. The whole, the True North scene towards the very end. And race. That the scenes where he's trying to break through to Bruce after he's been mind controlled. And again, he was nothing but nice. And I mentioned the first time I saw you in elementary as Lestra when you were announced on Gotham. I remembered you from that show. He said, "Oh yeah, it was fun working on that show." Lucy Lewis called me and she wants me to be on that show. She directs a few of them, but the schedules have conflicted with Gotham and everything. So I learned a little. I got a picture with him, held up the badge as per usual. Just really a gentleman. I'll say he was very much a gentleman. That Sean. Cool. Okay. Just going to give like a bullet point merchandise here. Again, I got another Sandy Brandenburg sketch done by an artist I just kind of ran into. He had amazing work. I bought a few prints from him too. He had this great print of Supergirl getting ice cream from the Flash, which is in the Flash show, which is amazing.
Nice.
The name of the artist was Mike Mayak, which is like he has a book for Scholastic. And of course, the Scholastic Book Fairs. He does a book for the Scholastic. Yeah,
it all loops back around.
It does. So I got some work from him. I would have loved for him to do a Sandy Brandenburg sketch. I had him do a sketch. I'm sorry, he didn't do a sketch card, but I kind of bumped into someone else who did a sketch card. But the point is, I would have loved to get a sketch card from him. That guy had good prints as well. So good artist going around there. So I got another Sandy Brandenburg sketch, a quickie done for like $10. I bought a Deadpool mask because I haggled. I didn't get the haggle in the Legos like I was able to before, but I did get the Deadpool mask essentially $25 cheaper than it's usually going for.
Nice.
It's nice. I bought it for $20 instead of like 40 to 50. So there's that. I got a Deadpool cardigan for an amazingly good price as well. This Deadpool cardigan I had seen online. They've advertised it, and the problem is it's kind of hard to find. And when it is available online, it's like for like $50 to $70. And they changed retailers this year for the shirts, for the T-shirt place, which is surprising. Again, another surprise at Comic-Con this year. And I was amazed. I had price checked it when I got home the first day because this thing stuck out to me. So I wanted to buy it, and it was going for $45. And I looked it up like, oh my god, $45! I gotta get that. So, got a Deadpool cardigan. That's essentially that, and this one very specific print. I went to Neil Adams. Neil Adams, one of the big historic names in Batman. Of course, one of the go-to Batman artists of the decades. Of course, on Batman, one of the best storytellers you'll ever meet. I had met Neil Adams previously. He's at every comic. He's there every year, and he has this big table of prints. And every year there are these two prints that always stick out to me. I'm always tempted to buy, but Neil Adams, he charges for the autograph and the photo. So before I adopted for the photo, other years I opted for the autograph. I got like a rare Batman comic signed one year, so I could not get the print for one reason or another. So last year, the two prints that were staring me in the face that I was all set to buy this year, I was like, I'm going to buckle down. I'm going to get that print that I've been eyeing. Maybe even both. Who knows? Unfortunately, Neil Adams has gone up in his prices for those prints, so I can only get one. And the one I really wanted, the Batman Talia Kiss, the historic Batman Talia Kiss, was not there. It had sold out. However, the second one was there. The one was my go-to. That I don't know. Again, Tiki. I think it's a sign. I think it's fate. The way you phrase it, because it was this adorable picture of Wonder Woman. This is the adorable print of Wonder Woman that Neil Adams had done. So I buckled down. I got that on the last day, and I told Neil Adams, Mr. Adams, I think you do such great work. I have seen this print every year, and since I come here, I finally buckled down. I was going to get it. He says, "Oh yes, and next year you're probably going to have one of the Gal Gadot Wonder Woman, the Gal Gadot. Is it Gadot or Gadot?" Now Kevin Smith's got me all mixed up.
I've heard it both ways.
I've heard it
from professional news movie journalists, so I really don't know.
Either way, just the new Wonder Woman. Maybe next year you'll get one of those. So really nice. A nice little moment there. In terms of costuming, we had a great Arkham trio of Batman, Robin, and the Red Hood, which looked from the Arkham Knight game, which looked like they jumped right out of the screen.
Nice.
Had a Zatanna, had a great looking Zatanna there, the top hat and tails and everything. We had a great grouping. There was a great grouping of the Spider-Man Homecoming Spider-Man with the jacket on.
Cool.
Doctor Strange, and they were all hanging out together. Doctor Strange, there was a Deadpool. There was another Jessica Jones and Matt Murdock, and after one of the second pictures we got, they did essentially a "look at me, I'm blind, Matt Murdock."
Really?
They didn't say that, but they essentially did that because they had an idea that basically one of them turned film on a camera, and I was just kind of in the shot, and I had my mother and my father take a picture of this too because it was just perfect. Matt Murdock was basically, they were like, okay, we're all preparing to take a picture, and then the idea is Matt Murdock being blind, he stumbles into the frame in front of everybody. So nice, essentially, look at me, I'm blind, Matt Murdock, which was fun. So I guess lastly, just last two things that the Stefan of it all last time. I guess he comes in again. Those last.
Oh wow! Okay.
So yeah, I should mention too, my friends from the previous day on that panel, Saturday, they were almost worshiping me that day because they just oh my God, he said like my brother from another mother. It's they were so wowed by everyone, don't you? It was like they were so wowed that
knowing what I know about you, I could imagine you being a popular face of Comic-Con.
And honestly, I hit a few familiar. Again, I hit a few familiar stops. And my own personal artist, I hit it like Ken Hunt, who I usually do work for me, and had him do a few things for my grandmother with Olaf. And I think I've mentioned this before. I had something done for Christmas for my grandmother. I had a print of. A sketch of Frozen around Christmas time done before the Frozen Christmas special was a thing.
Nice.
It was Anna, Elsa, Christmas tree, and Olaf being given a present by Anna. It was really, really sweet. And she has that frame, and it kind of hangs it there all year round. She loves snowmen, and she loves that movie. So yeah. The point is, this is the same guy who did that, so I know him from my comic shop, and he's at the Comic-Con. My friends do not know this, and again, it's like, oh man, you really do know everyone because the guy recognized me and everything. And then this is Stefan. He's continuing to make this Comic-Con the best experience. And my mother was desperate to get a picture with Stefan at Kapusik, and basically she gets a picture with him, and he sees me there because I'm just going down there, and he recognized me, gives me a big old hug when I'm there, big old hug, like you're the man. He just tells me I'm the man.
God, that's adorable.
It gives me a hug, and I tell I give him a salute, like, oh, thank you, have a great convention, see you around, that sort of thing. Like, oh yeah, just Stefan he's just the nicest man ever.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, I had a great moment with Riley Brown. Riley Brown, I've had do work for me before. You can go on Google Images, you type in Sandy Brandenburg, Riley Brown, the black and white one. That's the one I had commissioned. He's one, and I learned something from Riley Brown this year. Of course, he's always done great work. I didn't have time for him to do a sketch. I've already kind of run the gamut of stuff to get sketched by Riley Brown so far, until Deadpool 2 comes out, I guess. Anyway, I had a conversation. I told him, oh yeah, Stefan Kapusik here, such a nice guy. You should show him this Colossus print. I'm sure he appreciates. He's a big Colossus fan because he was decked out in the Colossus gear on the last day. He was like, oh, he was super into it. And basically, I hit Riley Brown with the trippy fact that, you know what occurred to me that I've never brought up to you before. Again, this guy I've always mentioned, Riley Brown is the definitive Deadpool. So when you think Deadpool, you think of Riley Brown's art. Deadpool. So I've always, this guy is, to me, is like kind of the caliber of, like, he's the Neil Adams of Deadpool essentially. So I go up to him. We also had him sign some books too, sign some cover art that he's done. Again, really nice as can be. He I tell him, you know, you were like one of the only there are only two people who've ever drawn Sandy Brandenburg. You and the Udon studio, namely Alvin Lee. And then he questions that, you know, he's in. It's like, no, that can't be. then I remember. Oh yes, there's one other guy, because there was like a one-off issue in the Udon series that was not drawn by Alvin Lee. So okay, you, and there's technically a third one who did a one shot. So honestly, it's three on this one character. And then he kind of blew my mind with, you know, there's actually one issue that I got credit for that I didn't do. And it just blew my mind. It was like the issue where basically Sandy and Outlaw get kidnapped by one of Deadpool's arch nemesis, T-Ray. And I was like, oh my god, yeah, really? That wasn't used? Yeah. So, oh wow, that's still a select group. That's impressive. So, you know, we had a nice moment together there. It's always good to see Riley Brown, and again, just kind of the guy who's, like, for me, like, always just kind of always a friendly face to see around the Baltimore Comic-Con. So that was essentially my experience on Comic-Con.
All right. Well, Dragon, I have to say, you know, it's like I'm definitely not a Comic-Con guy, because, you know, I do not like confined spaces. I do not like crowds. So confined spaces plus crowds, not my scene. But man, I tell you, I'm so happy for you. You know, all these stories, especially with Colossus. Oh my God, that's just really awesome. You know, just. Okay, yeah. Thank you so much.
I exposed the Batman to Mask of the Phantasm.
Right.
I became best buddies with Colossus.
Right.
So that was my Comic-Con.
Well, let's just say you should look up the Grand Rapids Comic-Con guest list, because Sandy's going to that, and it's pretty impressive. I'll have to get his thoughts once he goes to that as well. So maybe we can do like a double sort of thing. I don't know. But yeah. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, folks. Any last words, Dragon? Any stingers to go out on?
Breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
Damn straight.